into mountain pose. Feet together. We want to make sure our knees are over our ankles, our hips are over our knees. Roll your shoulders back and down. We're coming into mountain pose, Tadasana. You want to make sure your chin is slightly tucked in. So we're aligning the spine. We can rock forward and back, left and right. So we're evenly distributing the weight in the feet. You may notice that when you stand, you might have weight in one foot more than the other. And so we want to align our spine and evenly distribute the weight backward and forward, left and right in the feet. Then again, tuck the tailbone in, roll the shoulders back and down. Also throughout the day, you know, we're always on our phones and you may start to look like this when you're on your phone or on the computer. So this mountain pose really opens up the chest. So we're feeling that expansion across the chest, rolling the shoulder blades back and down on the back, reversing all of that hunched overness that we all do now because we're on our electronics. And then we want to tuck the chin in. That creates that lock. So that way we are raising the energy up the spine. We're starting to do that in mountain pose, grounding ourselves, connecting ourselves with the earth, pressing our feet into the mat, coming into our bodies. We are connecting ourselves to the cosmos through the top of our head. And now our spine is straight, our chin is back, so that energy can freely flow through us from the first chakra to the seventh chakra at the top of the head, which kind of looks like a sparkler when it comes out the top of your head. It just looks like fireworks shooting out the top. So coming into mountain pose, we're not there yet. We haven't raised our energy enough to shoot out the top of our heads, but we're going to do that today. Okay, mountain pose, arms by your sides, standing up really tall, looking straight ahead. You can find a point in front of you to help you balance. That's your drishti. That's the point that you're staring at with your eyes. Our eyes actually help us balance just as much as our limbs do. So let's warm up our spine. Let's bring our hands to our heart. So inhale, you can stay on your toes, come forward, bending up the hips. And then slowly come to the top. So it's 1. We'll do that 10 times. Inhale, bending at the hips. So we're warming up the spine, not coming too deep into a bend. And you can if you want, but it's not about how far down you go. Come up onto the toes, come down onto the heels, come forward. So inhale, starting to activate those yogic breaths. So we're inhaling through the nose, pushing the belly out. Exhaling through the nose, pushing the belly in. So coming into our breath, just taking note that you may notice in the beginning your breath is really shallow. Maybe you feel like you can't even find your breath. Your breath is nowhere to be found. It's shallow, it's short, you're not doing it right. Well, you are. So that's focusing on your breath. Even if you feel like you're not doing it right, you're focusing on your breath. That's all that matters. You're contacting it, you're getting used to what it sounds like, what it feels like. I created this class just to trigger you. No, I'm just kidding. But I've noticed that in the beginning, my breath is very shallow, and then by the end, my breath starts to deepen a lot more. So let's do that again. One more time. Inhale, push the belly out. Exhale, push the belly in. And then slowly roll to the top. Your head's going to come up last. Come back to mountain pose. Feel that string being pulled through the top of your head, making you stand up really tall. Yeah, let's do some neck rolls. So bring our chin to our chest. We'll do 3 to the left. Just take your time. Relax your jaw, stretch your jaw. And then let's do 3 on the other side. So bring your chin to your chest. Reverse sides. Make sure you're breathing. Come back to center. And then let's come into warrior 2. Bring the right foot forward, bring the left foot back so the heel is lined up with the middle of the left foot. Your left foot is at an angle. Make sure your knee is over your toe. Bring it over to the pinky toe a little bit. And that way we're pressing down on the outside edge of the foot. Same with the left arm. You want the left leg, press down on the outside edge of your foot. And then bring your arms to a T. And look out past your right fingertips here. You want to make sure that your spine is going straight down. You don't want to be leaned over like this. So spine straight. And then just look out past your right fingertips here. Taking those yogic breaths. And then let's come into an extended side angle. Bring your forearm to your thigh, and then bring your arm up over your head. Your palm is facing down towards the mat. Take some deep breaths here. You feel like this left shoulder is starting to come in. You want to open the left shoulder up. Really feel the expansion across your chest, keeping that left arm down, but opening your shoulder up to the left side of the room. So you don't want it to collapse. You don't want to be collapsing like this. So opening up, really stretching through the left side. Taking deep breaths here. And bring the left hand down, bring the left foot forward, shake that out if you need to. Let's come into a forward fold. Inhale, reach up really tall. Exhale, come down your heels, come forward, bending at the hips. Grab behind the calves or the ankles, or you can let your head go. Just take some deep breaths here. See with every exhale, if you can get deeper into the pose. Just take a really big inhale. Exhale.
Do that a couple more times on your own. Really deepen the breath. Let the head go, let the neck go, let the shoulders go. Relax the jaw. You can even exhale through the mouth if you'd like. See if you can let something go. And then slowly roll to the top. Your head's going to come up last.
Come back to mountain pose, center yourself, ground yourself. You want to stand up really tall in mountain pose, so feet together. Make sure your knees are over your ankles, your hips are over your knees. You want to slightly tuck your tailbone in. You want your butt sticking out like this, and you slightly tuck it in. That aligns your hips and your spine. Roll your shoulders back and down. You want to feel the expansion across your chest, because all day long we're on our phones, we're on our computers, so we get this hunched over. So we want to really bring the shoulders back so we feel the expansion there, and bring them down along your back. So roll your shoulders back and down, and then slightly tuck the chin in, so that way we align the spine. Take some deep breaths here. Hands equal by the side. Okay, let's do warrior two on the other side. So left foot forward, right foot comes back. So our right foot is at an angle. The heel is lined up with the middle of the right foot. And we want to move our knee over to the left a little bit towards the pinky. So that way we're pressing on the outside edge of the foot. Press on the right outside edge of the foot. So both outside edges of the feet, you kind of get this wrapping sensation. Your legs are wrapping to the back. And then bring your arms to a T, come into warrior two. You may need to walk your foot out a little bit more, or you may need to bring it in. So just adjust your posture, your lunge. We're looking out past the left fingertips here. Our spine is straight down towards the mat. We are not leaning over like this. So keep your spine straight. Take some deep breaths here. So by doing yoga, we're strengthening our mind-body connection. And we're doing that by being in our bodies, first of all. A lot of us do a lot of things to numb out in our bodies. Maybe we drink, or even watching TV, we can numb out, and just checking out. There's so many ways that we can numb out in our bodies. So we're finally here, we're present, we're in our bodies. We've committed to doing this class for an hour. So we're just being aware of being in our bodies, firstly. And then since at the end we meditate in Shavasana and do different exercises like that, we also gain that insight of watching our mind and just being aware of our mind. And so that creates this mind-body connection where over time we can say, wow, these thoughts in my mind, are making me sick. Maybe it's stress. I had a really stressful day today. Now I'm stressing out about my boss and my back is hurting, or something really stressful happened and your knee flares up, or whatever ailment it is. You start to get that mind-body connection where you're realizing your thoughts, what's going on in your life is actually causing you pain. You didn't actually, pull your back or sprain your knee, but something happened, or you're thinking some thoughts, or you got into an argument with someone, and then all of a sudden you're having this physical ailment creep up. So that's that mind-body connection that we're strengthening here by doing the yoga. So bring your arms down, shake that out if you need to, and then come back into mountain pose. So feet together. Make sure your knees are over your ankles, hips are over your knees. Tuck your tailbone in, roll your shoulders back and down. Again, get that expansion across your chest. It seems really simple, but everybody is just hunched over today. We're all on our phones and like looking down. And so it's really important that we do this. We don't get to do this very often. Hands equal by your sides. Tuck your chin in so you get that lock, and also you're aligning your spine. And then look straight forward. We're going to use our dristi, our sight, to activate this posture. We're looking straight ahead. Then you can rock forward and back, left and right, really distribute the weight evenly in our feet. This is also super important too. We're always wearing shoes. So it's really important to feel into your feet. We're activating all the little muscles in your feet. You have a bunch of ligaments, tendons. So we want to wake up the feet as well. Okay, so let's come into another forward fold. So we're going to inhale, reach up really tall. Exhale, come onto your heels, come forward, and then grab your elbows. Actually come hip width apart, feet hip width apart. Grab your elbows and let your head go, let your neck go. You can bend your knees if that feels good. Just take some deep breaths here. So I want you to start thinking about that mind-body connection. Is there anything that's happened in your life in the past that you can think, oh yeah, my back went out when this happened, or you know, my legs started hurting when that happened, and you didn't physically injure yourself. Or even migraines, that happens all the time. People get migraines when they get really stressed out or something really stressful happens. So that's that mind-body connection where you can see my thoughts, my interactions with people, what happened in my day. You can start showing up in your body. And yoga is also a great way to make you feel better too. But doing the yoga makes us be in our bodies, makes us pay attention to what's going on in our bodies instead of numbing out. We can start making that mind-body connection. What's happening in my mind, what's happening in my reality is also happening in my body. As above, so below. You're a reflection of what's going on in your life. Make sure you're still taking those yogic breaths. I want you to be able to hear your breath. If you can't hear your breath, you're not breathing hard enough. You're not hard, but you're not deepening your breath. You want to inhale, exhale. You can add the ujjayi breath if you want. You just want to breathe deep enough that you can hear your own breath. And then slowly come to the top. Your head's going to come up last. And then come back to mountain pose, feet together. Roll your shoulders back and down. Stand up really tall. Ground yourself. Slightly tuck your tailbone in. Really get the expansion across your chest. Tuck that chin in. Okay, let's come into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana on the right. So inhale, reach up really tall, come up onto your toes. Exhale, come down, come over to the right. So feel the stretch all down the left side. Take those yogic breaths. And then come back to center, big circle with the arms. We'll come over to the left side. Inhale, reach up really tall, come up onto your toes. Come down, come over to the left. So really take some deep breaths all through the right side of the body. So I work at a doctor's office and some people can't even feel what's going on in their bodies. They're like, I can't feel this medication. I can't tell if it's working. We're like, okay, well, it's working. So some people don't even have the body connection where they can feel what's going on in their body, which there's nothing wrong with them. It's just they haven't. It's like a skill. Everything in life is a skill. They just haven't grown that skill yet to be aware of what's going on in their body, the subtleties of what's going on in their body, unless, you know, they break a leg and then they can really feel it. But if something subtly shifted, sometimes people just, they're like, I don't know, I don't feel anything. Then come back to center, big circle with the arms. And then from here, let's come into chair pose. So feet hip width apart. We're going to inhale, bring our arms up. Exhale, make sure your knees are behind your toes. Take some deep breaths here. Do it from this side so you can see. And then see if you can go lower. See how low you can go. Make sure you're looking straight forward. I just want to make sure my knees are behind my toes. See how low you can go. Make sure you're breathing. And then let's release that. Inhale, reach up really tall, come into ragdoll, come down, bend at the hips, and grab your elbows, and bend your knees.
If anything feels tight, just send your breath to those tight spaces. Let's drop the arms. We'll come into a twist. Right arm to left foot. Inhale, look up towards that left foot.
And then come back to center. Let's do that on the other side. Left hand to right foot. Take some deep breaths here. And then come back to center. Slowly roll to the top. Your head's going to come up last. Come back to mountain pose. Center yourself. Okay, let's come into Prasarita. So feet wider than hip width apart is another forward fold. So we are clasping our hands behind us. So you can leave them here at your low back. We're going to come into a forward fold. We're going to point our toes inward a little bit. And then inhale. Exhale, come forward, bending at the hips. So you can stay here or you can let your arms fall forward. Take some deep breaths here.
And then bring your hands to your low back, leading with the chest, come up. And then heel to your feet, back into mountain pose. Stand up really tall. Come back to center. Okay, so from here, we're going to come into downward dog or triangle pose in Kundalini, all the same. So let's come into downward dog, feet hip width apart, hands hip width apart. You want to drive your heels down towards the mat. You can bend your knees if that feels good. You want to drive your tailbone up towards the sky. And we're lengthening the spine here. Pedal the feet left and right if that feels good. Let's take some deep breaths. So this mind-body connection can show up as all sorts of blocks in our life, like maybe we're holding on to everyone else's problems, and so we're holding on to weight, or we have some injury that just won't go away because we have some sort of unresolved emotions that are stuck in our body. So our mind is very powerful and it can create problems in order for us to learn. And then it shows up in the body. And if we don't listen, then it can come back. But if you have that mind-body connection, you can kind of dig in and figure out, why do I always have gut issues? You know, when I get really stressed, why is my gut tight? Or maybe my back is tight when I'm helping my family. Am I holding on to all my family's problems? Things like that. You start to figure out what's actually going on. When you're like, I didn't even do anything. Why does this hurt? Pedal your feet left and right one more time. And then let's come onto our knees. Let's push back into child's pose, feet together. Our knees are either together or hip width apart. Let's take some deep breaths here. Okay, let's come into a seated position. And we are going to do Gian Chakra. We haven't done this in a while. And so this is clearing our arc line. And so every thought has a positive and negative. And every thought, like with one blink, there's 1,000 thought forms. And so we choose one thought form with just one blink of an eye. And all 999 other thought forms that go into our subconscious, all these other things that we could have, all these other choices we could have chose. We chose that one thought. It has a positive and negative thought because we live in a polarity planet. So what Gian Chakra is doing, Gian Chakra Kriya is doing, is we have an arc line that goes over our head, and this is where our subconscious thoughts are stored. And so we're clearing that out by doing this Kriya. And so let's do it. Okay, so we are chanting, our fingers are in Gian Chakra, and
our fingers and our thumb and our index finger are touching, and the fingers are out in front of us, and we're going up over our head, and then like kind of like in front of our heart, like in front of us, and then up over our head, and we're chanting. Satanam, Satanam, Waheguru, Waheguru, Satanam, Satanam, Waheguru, Waheguru, Satanam, Satanam, Waheguru, Waheguru, Satanam, Satanam, Waheguru, Waheguru, Satanam, Satanam, Waheguru, Waheguru. Make sure you're going up and over your head. So up and over. You want to get the whole head. Satanam, Satanam, Waheguru, Waheguru, 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 Satanam, Satanam, Waheguru. breath. Stretch the elbows. Exhale. Inhale. Really stretch the arms. Exhale. Inhale. Stretch the arms. Hold the breath. Twist left, right, left, right. Stretch and exhale. Pull the shoulders, the neck, and the jaw. Let's come into cat-cow. So we're gonna come onto all fours, and then we're gonna inhale, look up, and then exhale, chin to chest. So keep going, inhale, look up, exhale, chin to chest. So doing 3 minutes of cat-cow. This is balancing all 7 of our chakras. Inhale, look up. Exhale, chin to chest. Push back. Hands together, coming to child's pose. Take some deep breaths here. Okay, let's come into a seated position. Okay, we're gonna try to fit this in. This is a really good meditation for your brain, but also we're going to be shaking the body at the end, which is really good for stress. So I don't know if you ever notice like animals when they get really stressed out, they like shake it off afterwards. They just shake themselves. And so that's what this, at the end, we end up like shaking the whole body at the end of this Kriya. And that's a really good way to release stress. And we don't get to do that a lot. I don't know what you do. Maybe you do that a lot. But this is really good for us. So it's good for our brain. We're refreshing the brain. It is killing off dead brain cells. It cleans them out. We're raising our frequency. Okay, so we are going to, hold on one second. Okay, so our hands are like 4 inches, like we're patting the cheeks. 4-inch movement, so they're not going very far away from our face, a couple inches, okay? And we're O mouth breath, and we're 8 breath in and 8 out. So and then 8 out. Won't make you guys do it for the 10 minutes. So let's see if we can do this together. So we're doing the hand movements as well. And if you feel like you're rubbing your head and patting your belly or whatever you are, okay, just watch me 8 in, 8 out, and we're going like this. And it's supposed to be hard. So if you get confused and you get upset, that's the point. Eight in and 8 out. Eyes closed down.
Take the hands in a fist and shake the body. Shake the whole body. Shake, 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 shake. And exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Shake the whole body. Inhale or exhale. Inhale. Hold the breath. Shake, 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 shake. Get the prana into the body. Shake. And exhale. Take some deep breaths. Feel the energy circulating in your body. Okay, that's also really good for stress and trauma, all that stuff that gets stored in your body. So let's come down onto our backs. Finally, we made it. We'll come down into Shavasana. Palms face up, let your feet fall to each side. Take up as much space on your mat here as you'd like. Place one hand on your belly, one hand on your heart. And then go ahead and take 5 yogic breaths on your own. Inhale, push the belly out. Exhale, push the belly in. Let your breath fall back into its natural rhythm. Instead of drifting off into our thoughts, we're going to focus on being in the present moment. There's nothing wrong drifting off into your thoughts, but we're just coming here, right now. Just listening to the sounds in the room. There's a heater going, or what's going on in that other room. So just being present with the sounds that are happening for you right now.
As your mind starts to wander, just go back to the present moment without judgment, just knowing that's what the mind does. We have a monkey mind and it likes to jump from thought to thought. So we're just coming back to this present moment right here. You hear the sounds that are happening in your room at this moment. Bring the sound to bring yourself into the present moment. As your mind starts to wander off again, just come back to what you're doing right here, laying in Shavasana, listening for the sounds in your room. And gently come back, which is the most important part. Gently come back to the present moment. Not judge yourself for letting your mind wander or trying to control your mind. There is no controlling it. There's only controlling the breath. There's no controlling the mind. We can be right here, right now, with the sounds in our room. Maybe you can hear the light hum of the TV in the background or the computer, the electronics. What do you hear in your room right now? Gently bring your mind back to the room that you're in, not judging yourself or finding yourself in thought again. Just gently coming back to this moment. Picking a sound that's bringing you connected to the present moment. Maybe it's even the sound of your own breath. Using the sound to bring yourself to the awareness of this present moment. Found yourself wrapped up in thought again, you can make a mental note, thinking, and come back to the room, back to the sounds that you hear in your room right now. Gently coming back to this present moment. Gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes. Bringing some life back into your limbs. And then bring your arm up over your head. Roll over onto your side. And then come up into a seated position. Eyes closed, bring your hands to your heart. And we're going to end with spirit to spirit and healing streams of grace. So you're going to acknowledge your own spirit. So focus in on the center of your chest. If you don't see a color, just pick one, make one up. Helps you visualize it better. Acknowledging your spirit, acknowledge your healing guides, your ancestors, your guardian angels, and the highest version of themselves. And then the higher power. And then we ask that healing streams of grace come in and go ahead and fill in the blank. So whatever you need healed, you can say it out loud. I ask that healing streams of grace come in and heal my neck, my back, whatever it is. And then we just see it as orange streams of light coming over us. And then you thank the healing streams of grace. Thank you. And thanks for coming to my class. Namaste.